The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Frankford Township Board of Education has caused advance notice of this meeting and general agenda to be submitted for publishing in the official newspapers as well as district and municipal offices on June 29th, 2023. Can we all rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Kathleen Adam?
Here.
Leif Anderson? Here. Jamie Armando?
Here.
Raymond Castellani?
here.
Chris Dexter?
Here.
Caitlin Fredo? Mandy Joust?
Here.
Jennifer Naus? John Tiger?
Here.
No, we just don't. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to read off the staff member of the month for September 2023 is Leanne Sweeney. And I'm going to read a little portions of the letter that I was given. We nominate Leanne Sweeney for staff member of the month for the following reason. Leanne never shies away from taking on extra responsibilities. As one example, she has taken on the planning for elementary computer lab classes, which involves checking in with grade level teachers to ensure standards are being met. She runs an after-school art enrichment program for younger students, which recognizes and challenges those with exceptional artistic talents. She's in charge of the well-regarded and effective ADVEX program. Note, I was in the ADVEX program. She put into what?
Was she your teacher?
She put into place a program called Artsonia, a virtual art gallery that links families to the works of art students produce throughout the academic year. She regularly goes above and beyond what is expected and is always able to make time for her colleagues and her students. She coordinates a spring art show without ever requiring time out of her regular scheduled classes. Instead, she will use her prep time and even lunch periods so as to not disrupt the schedule of others. She plays an active role in our Sunshine Committee. She is often here after school until 5 to 6 o'clock working on activities for her students and prepping for her exciting art lessons. She develops engaging lessons for her computer lab classes where students learn the technology skills that are necessary for success in their classrooms. It is no wonder our students look forward to our class each week. This is where they are challenged to create works of art, encouraged to be creative, and welcomed with one of Leanne's special greetings. Congratulations. Congratulations.
We have a picture with the district starter.
Who's the district photographer?
That'd be me.
You? Sure.
Oh, man. See if I know how to use this. I do not use it. One more. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Chris, are we all ready to executive session?
Yeah, I moved it up earlier in the agenda.
Okay, how long do we think it might be?
We have superintendent search as well as principal search updates. We're expecting probably about 40 minutes or so. It's gonna be a long one.
So we have a 40-minute executive session. You're all welcome to wait outside and come back in 40 minutes. And we'll let you know when it's over.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to go into exec?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, I got you. You get to go outside with that.
Yeah.
I know I had a meeting tonight. How are you?
Is it,
I'll close the door.
I was gonna say, is there anything that you would like for to notify you?
There's something that I wanna bring up, so.
So,
wait.
so you wanna do that first?
Yeah, sure.
We can do that. I'll still close the door.
Okay, thank you. Do we want any discussion?
Policy. This is a very large policy that we've had for a long time. But I am requesting the board to hold on it because there is one area that I want to reach out to the board with discussion and share my views about the policy. It has to do with, in certain circumstances, the principal has a right to not follow through on a HIB. And there's a couple of reasons why that should be something we consider. But I want to have some time sharing my thoughts with the board about that because there's a little bit of a pro and con in that area. Vandalism and violence, what they did with this policy is they blended the threat assessment team policy that's mandated into the vandalism and violence policy, which is good, and we carefully read that, and it does meet all the guidelines established by the state. And English as a second language, we have a very small group of students English as a second language, and the guidelines here are just the basic requirements and very minor revisions to that. So I will be asking the board to hold on one policy and move forward on the three, and the next month we'll go ahead and get clarification and hopefully move on the HIV policy. We also, under Chris's report, we're going to be talking about a change to the facility usage form. Main issue here is the district will determine, the superintendent will determine whether security is needed for the approval. And there's some good reason why you do that. We used to have a guideline that if there's 100 people would require, I'm respectfully requesting that the administration just make a decision about it. You could very well have an activity that has fewer than 100 anticipated that you need security for, or you'd like security for. So that was just something I wanted to share with it. I think it's a good idea for the administration to make a decision about whether security is needed in that case. The next item that I just wanted to mention is a high impact grant. We did apply for a grant, a high impact grant. It's a competitive grant, which is, quite a bit of test. We're entitled to apply for up to $38,000. We followed all of their guidelines as best we could for additional staffing for response intervention, and also for an assessment program for our grade 1, 2, 3, and 4. Kindergarten has something that fits our needs. 5, 6, 7, 8 use IXL, and so we do need a package there. We have about $11,000 earmarked for that if we're successful with this grant. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I don't
Yeah,
mean to interrupt, but just when will we know?
Very soon. They didn't give us a date, but the program is supposed to start October 11th, so the turnaround is very quick.
Okay.
And we just don't know. Again, it was very hurried up. It just came out and it was due and getting school started, so we did the best we could. And hopefully we're successful. give it our best shot. CUSAC, we have the CUSAC document coming up. This is an audit basically of the district. This is the guidelines, all the indicators, and it's quite a task. One of the issues we have, of course, is that the administrators who were here, they evaluate last year for the most part. They aren't here. Principal, superintendent slash principal, the assistant to the superintendent, a school nurse. So there's several categories in there. We'll get through it, but there's quite a bit. We also have to have a committee, a CUSAC committee, and there is a request that a board member be on that committee, along with a couple of staff members, and we're already working on that. But there's not a lot of work on it. It's more confirmation. All the work will be done administratively through the office staff and the administrators. But we do need to have someone from the board, at least one member representing the board, to confirm. And then the other piece that is very important, in my opinion, is the last training session we had is, I wrote it down here somewhere, right before the DPRs are due. The DPRs basically is a self-assessment, and there's 5 categories, there's 5 training sessions, one on each of those categories. And what we have to do, of course, is about less than a week after the last training, we have to put the DPR in. So, and that would have to be done by October 23rd. Very difficult, if at all possible, to do that. What I was thinking, if the board would even consider this, is to have the November meeting on the 13th rather than the 27th. Would allow us to have the DPRs approved on the 13th and sent to the state on the 15th, if that's something the board would consider. And then the last thing is the statewide student support services. On at least 2 occasions, I mentioned this to the board. They have services at different levels for pre-K through grade 8, all the grades in our district. Activities include assemblies and classroom presentations and community workshops. They also have small group programming for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, evidence-based targeted prevention typically delivered in small groups. And they also have brief clinical interventions for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Really, I think, a good program. We no longer have the services of ESS this year. And although this does not substitute for ESS, it is, something in the right direction. Essentially, there's about $17 or $18 million worth of statewide money. The hub that we would be involved with is Morris in Sussex County, we've already been through their portal, and we're lined up and just hopefully we'll get board approval this evening to proceed. What happened is, the child's in trouble, the family's in trouble. We have somewhere to go in addition to the services we're able to render here in the district. So I think it's a very good program, and they've been great as far as letting us know exactly what to do. One fellow spent hours with us making sure we're up to speed on this program. So it's coming from the state and federal dollars. I think it's 17 or 18 million, but that's the entire state. It's never enough. I'm not suggesting in any way, shape, or form it's enough, but at least it's a start. And that's all I have.
Do we need a motion for the 13th to change it?
You would, I would believe, you could either do it now if you so choose, you could do it in October, but I'd appreciate the consideration in that regard, but that's.
I mean, I can send a poll out to everyone's, just to get everyone's availability to make sure, unless, I know there's a couple of people that are not here right now, but I can send out information tomorrow.
Okay.
And I think we did it in October. We did it in October, fine for November. So if the district, the board chose to do that. Any questions, by the way, from the board?
Mr. Mayor, so
Yeah.
when we go to vote, you're suggesting that we take out that harassment intimidation and bullying one, or?
Yes, just hold on it for 1 month.
Okay, so do we need to say that, or is it gonna be?
Like,
well,
we can,
Chris mentioned that
we'll
we're,
remove it from the
Placing it on hold.
resolution, yeah.
Okay.
and we should have that to you in the month of October.
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Thank you for applying for the grant, Mr. Mooney.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Just quickly, we right now, our enrollment is 503. We've had no suspensions. Charter school enrollment 2, out of District 2. And there's no harassment, intimidation, or bullying report. Communications, that's it?
Yeah, just read up.
Okay, sure. Columbus Day School's closed on the 9th. We do have our teacher in service that day. I'll be sharing with the board the details of the in-service on that day. The 10th of October is the next PTA meeting. Fire Prevention Week is the 11th. We'll be looking for the local fire department to come in with our younger students. The October board meeting, of course, is the 23rd. And Halloween, of course, is the 31st. We're also working on violence prevention. We have a meeting actually tomorrow, on Wednesday, to deal with what we're going to be doing in that regard, respect and violence prevention and things like that. So that's where we are.
Curriculum and instruction, there's no report. Chris, is there an update on the Chromebook insurance?
Just on the Chromebooks, actually give 2 updates. One is Chromebooks and the other one is quasi-finance / technology. So Chromebooks, we've had a pretty good, very good rollout for that matter. There's only about 8 people that have not purchased the insurance. Those 8, they're actually signing out a Chromebook each day, so they're not taking them home. But otherwise, they're still working on it. Hopefully they sign them out, they obtain the insurance, but otherwise it's gone pretty well as far as everyone I've spoken with, so pretty happy with that. Another item which was very much a hot topic in the past couple of weeks was the POS system, the school deposits for the lunch program. Real time wasn't a real time issue, it was the Pay Schools issue. They worked with real time to get the system updated, and apparently there were several people that when they would log into the portal, they would get sent to the old payment system, which is why some were not getting updated in the lunch program. I spent 4 hours on Friday getting this straightened out. They went through all of the accounts to clear it all up, so anyone that wasn't credited has been credited. Some of them we were doing manually, and either way, should not be any more issues with that system. Victoria had sent out a new notice that lists all of the fees, how it works. For people that are wondering or have not seen it, the payment system has a fee for paying with credit card, but you can also pay with e-check, which has just a flat fee regardless of the dollar amount versus a percentage of the total charge. That's typically the better way to go if you're looking at it, but otherwise it should be going much more smoothly now. Much more.
Question, if you send in a hard check, can you look on that account and see the money in there, or it doesn't show?
It will, once, if you send it in, like you can send it to the cashier, she'll be able to split it up if you have it going to multiple kids, but yeah, it'll show up, by the end of that lunch period, or she'll obviously
Okay.
credit it.
It's quick, that's what I did.
The system we're using for this, do we pay for that system?
We do pay a fee.
So we
for it.
pay a fee for the system and they also put money on this?
Well, the charge is the credit card transaction.
Yeah.
So we have
But
the
if they're already-
licensing for the software though.
But if we're already paying for their system, and now they're going back to the cookie jar twice,
Yeah,
That's how it kind of feels.
the percentage that you're charged on there is just strictly the credit card fees though, so they're not going to I don't think they're getting any percentage of that fee, though I could certainly check it, but my understanding is primarily the credit card processing.
It's actually against state law for them to charge a higher percentage than they're getting charged. So whatever the credit card fee is that they're charging, they can only charge what the bank charges them. If they charge you any amount more, it's against law.
Alright.
Sorry to interrupt.
Thank you.
Moving on for finance, so the boilers are underway. They were all, the demolition started September 11th. They've actually finished all the demolition as of this past Friday. The boilers were expected to be delivered by the general contractor today, however they weren't, but they're expecting to start the install this week. Should take a little over a week to be done, so we should have no problems for the heating season to start by mid-October, but that's underway. We met last week with the architects to discuss the B-wing roof project. We did get preliminarily approved for the ROD grant, for up to $700,000 of funding. We don't necessarily have enough in our capital reserve, so I asked them to look at the roof, come up with ways that we can break it down into different, a base bid plus some alternates in case we're able to get enough into either the bids come in reasonably enough that we can do the entire section. If we can, then we'll add these other sections back into it. So that's more to come. We're gonna have a resolution in October to apply or to approve going to bid. The goal would be to go to bid in mid-November if we can, have everything ready, so that way we can have award a contract in December, and it'll give us 6 months lead time for materials and to get started with as soon as school lets out in June. So that's underway.
Is there any deck replacement or it's just roof?
It's just roof, yeah.
And ISO blue?
So that would be the section at the end of this hallway, between the corner of this hallway and where it goes into the next section before the large gym, that entire roof above that.
Didn't we just do a bunch of roof work here?
We did, so far we've done, the last roof we did was D-wing, the very middle school, and then above the gym, the large multi-purpose room was it. So far we've replaced all of the middle school area except for around the outside part of the surrounding the gym. We've done a wing over here. The roof we're replacing right now is done in the late 90s. So that was the most recent before. Fortunately, that one has the least amount of stuff on it, so it's not as involved a repair.
Okay, good.
When we get to the middle school, there's a lot of equipment there that we'll have to deal with at that point.
When are we looking to do the middle school?
Probably
warranty
in
on
the
it or
next
no?
3 or 4 years, my guess.
There's no warranty?
No, that's about at the end of its warranty. So what we would probably be doing, that would be a much bigger project, and then we'd probably add in a few other things, but that'll be right around when we're finishing up a referendum, paying off for a bond that we have right now. So that would be a good time to look at those next big projects. So that way, we're pretty much on time with that.
Okay, good.
That would be the plan, or my plan. That's it, so we just have school safety.
Yeah, just want to mention that we had our fire drills and our lockdown drill. We had a little trouble with our first security drill. We were working on the sound system and we had some problems with that, so we had to go get those fixed. We also had an amplifier problem on our PA system. That did not come in yet, did it not?
No,
It did not yet. So we had a couple of technical issues there, but we're moving along. Again, we did have our fire drill and our lockdown. You have to have a fire drill within the first 10 days of the school year, and we did do that. So, and security officer was going well in that regard. He was very alert, and yesterday we had a visitor that he immediately took care of business on, and it's good. So, showed us some pictures and got them out to the state police, and we don't think it's anything, but again, it's really on top of the safety of the kids and the staff. Okay.
Anything personnel?
Just that we're looking for paraprofessionals. We have looks like we still have 3 vacancies in the paraprofessional world, and that's about it at this point. And of course, we're always looking for substitutes and teaching and for paraprofessionals, but that's where we are at this point. Again, at least 3 part-time paraprofessionals we hope to fill soon.
On to the regular consent agenda. The following items are matters of routine business that we voted on by one motion. 3 through 34 with a hold on the policy.
Yep, we're pulling 5131.1 from resolution number 22.
I was looking for a security one as well to switch them up into it. Somebody was talking about with the
It's all
security,
more than 100 people.
right?
Yeah, that is in here for, that is in here for form,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that it was.
buildings.
I read that, so.
We actually need.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's in resolution number 9, yeah.
Thank you.
It's the form for it.
Oh, okay.
And it just, it was an explanation of what
Gotcha.
different.
I thought you were telling us to put a hold.
Resolved that the Frankford Township Board of Education accept the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to approve the above identified regular agenda items numbered 3 through 34 as amended. Chris, you wanna call the
Yes.
vote?
Do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
I'll second it. Kate Adams,
Yes.
Jamie Armando,
Yes.
Chris Dexter,
Yes.
okay, Mandy Joust,
Yes.
John Tiger,
Yes.
Yes.
Leif Anderson,
Yes.
Ray Castellano.
Yes.
Thank you. Passes. No regular agenda items.
Okay. Motion to go into the second public comment?
Do we want to do any discussing before we enter? Any motions or other things, or you guys want to wait for that public comment?
I'm looking at this now.
I just wanted to discuss policy 1120 at the place of meeting back in the summertime. This is our policy for public comment.
Oh, okay.
So we don't have a policy for yielding of time. There was an enormous amount of yielding of time to certain individuals. So moving forward, I just want to make sure that that isn't what's going to happen. We clearly have it called out that if someone would like more time at the end beyond their 3 minutes, they need to ask and we'll approve it. But I just want to make sure, clarify that that's the way that we're going to function moving forward. As long as everybody agrees, then we would be good. Does anybody argue with that?
If that's our policy
That is our policy.
and it wasn't followed, it should have been followed.
Okay.
Yes.
Agreed.
Pull the policy so that we've got.
You wanna check it?
Yeah.
Just make sure. Okay, we can confirm that.
That's fine. Yeah. I'd also like to make a motion to create the recognition circle committee. I had talked about it earlier. So just to get a committee together, so anybody who's recommended to be it, the committee will review that individual.
How many people?
3 is what we usually have, so
Sure. Anybody wanna volunteer for the recognition
Well, I
circle?
can make the motion.
Motion.
We make-
I'll make the motion.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so then we just have to get volunteers.
Yeah, I'll volunteer.
Anybody else?
Who volunteered? I'm sorry.
Leave myself.
You can
Are
put-
those monthly?
We haven't had a change
They're
in a
not
while.
always.
I guess the committee will decide that.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
put my name on there.
So I just wanted to clarify, this is the recognition committee?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that would be,
For the name on the recognition circle.
oh, okay,
That's,
yeah, okay, just wasn't sure what, okay, thanks.
I have some information to hand out to everybody. That I got. So I just wanted to clarify.
you guys.
So I got wind of this, that the FTEA is supporting 3 candidates. So I just want to let everybody know that now that this ship has sailed and support has come, that if any of those 3 individuals are voted in, they will have limitations on some of their function as board members. So I just wanna let all the board members, current ones know, and they can read through this. And I highlighted on the second page on what the effects are of that. There's nothing really to vote on, I'm just letting everybody know that that's what happens when this happens.
Thank you.
This is from NJSBA.
Yes. Yeah, it's two, and the public release of the advisory opinion is the last section.
So it puts limitations on the candidates.
If they get voted in, they can't have any part of any future negotiations, things of that nature. The FTA.
Thank you, Lenny.
And the reasoning is in this packet, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Highlighted on,
On page.
It's highlighted for the
Oh.
brief description and then the
Because
six
the
page.
support is from the FTA, so they could, I get it.
Yes.
It could be biased to that during negotiations. Do you have anything else, Lee?
No, good, go ahead.
I would like to make a motion to rescind New Jersey Policy 5756. This policy is called Transgender Student Guidance for School Districts and allows for faculty and staff to communicate with students who are minor children at Frankford Township School regarding gender identity without disclosing these conversations to the parents. The secrecy in the policy is written for kindergarten through 12th grade. The policy states that, quote, "A school district shall accept a student's asserted gender identity. Parental consent is not required." Further, a student need not meet any threshold, diagnosis, or treatment requirements to have his or her gender identity recognized and respected by the district, school, or school personnel. Nor is a legal or ordered name change required. There is no affirmative duty for any school district personnel to notify a student's parent or guardian of the student's gender identity or expression. Here at Frankford Township School, every student is a minor child. Every student falls under their parental or guardianship's umbrella. It is my opinion that all conversations need to be disclosed to the parents and guardians for their decision on how to proceed with their child's perception of himself or herself. I am not against any adult making a decision for himself or herself regarding any aspect of his or her life. I'm not against any parent or guardian making decisions for and with his or her child. I do not think keeping secrets from parents is acceptable in any form, and therefore I move to rescind New Jersey Policy 5756 at Frankford Township School. That's my motion.
I'll second it. We need a discussion?
just to clarify, we do not currently have that policy, that was.
That's what I wanted to ask.
We don't currently have one on place,
It's a New Jersey state policy, so when, in my research, if you don't rescind it, then it's in place. Under their guidelines that I have here,
So it's just defaults.
it defaults.
There were 3 Monmouth County districts that just got some direction from the courts about that, essentially asking their initiative to be placed on hold. Just for the record, there was also a Hanover district I spent time in 8 years ago, that had such a policy, and if I had read it correctly, they moved away from it just temporarily. It isn't, all it was a hold while the courts continue to study the issue of whether it is legal or not. So just for the record, I think we should mention that there, there were those 3 Monmouth County districts, and attached to that was Morris County District, Hanover, that were asked to place their move on hold. I believe they had, I'm not sure, I'm not close enough, so I shouldn't say it. I don't, let me just leave it at that there were some documents that are read about that, just for the record.
I'm not against anybody doing anything that they
Right.
wanna do.
I see.
I just want parental information to be put out there, that's all. I don't want any secrets kept from any parent, because every student in the school is a minor child.
So the motion on the floor is to rescind that policy.
Correct.
Leaf seconded,
And then we need a roll call.
Can you do a roll call vote on this one?
Do we have the,
Wait,
do we
wait,
have the policy?
Yeah, can we have time to think this over?
Chris, you said we don't have, do we have the policy?
We don't have one in place on Frankfurt's books, there's no official policy, so this was mandated by the state, a recent, I forget how long ago it was passed by the
It's been
state.
a while.
2018.
Been a while.
Well, we see what they're
There was
doing to
no
mandate
policy
masks,
on the
you know what I
books.
mean?
Been a while.
And actually, the actual policy is not even a policy, it's really guidance. And there was a company that did, that wrote the policy, that 570 out of 580 of the school districts, used this company to, write these policies. Yeah. And they marked it as M for mandated, but it really, the actual policy is truly just guidance, so it is not mandatory.
I have that, I could get that out to the board members next night or so. There's also an article that I'm referring to, just, I could get that out to you as well, just so you see what the discussions have been in the press about this.
And for me, I'm telling, it's not about transgender anything, it's about parental notification of any kind of red, for me personally, not this law, this policy, for any kind of red flag item that would come up in the school to ensure that parents are notified.
I think both.
Wait, what are we voting? To rescind it? No, we need more information. We need to
Rescind it, or if it comes this way, then it's rescinded, so it cannot come here, even if it comes here in a month. It's rescinded, I'm not letting it.
want more information. I'm not prepared to vote on something that was just presented with 30 seconds ago.
No, this has been around for a few years. I've been working on this.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, but Mandy can call a vote.
Yeah.
You can vote no.
Certainly can.
So we're gonna
He's taking
rescind a state policy that we knew about. Sorry, that was brought up 30 seconds ago. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
I just have a question, do we have the policy on the, you said we don't have the policy on the.
We don't have any policy, there's been no movement on creating.
what
What do we, what do we vote, what exactly
That
do
it
we
won't
vote?
come through.
Not vote, not vote.
If it becomes mandated,
Because
it will not.
Chris, can you call a vote?
Okay.
No.
Kate Adam? Jamie Armando?
Yes.
Is out. Mandy Joust?
Yes.
Out. It's gonna be updated here. Hold on. Let it leave out. Okay, sorry, John Tiger,
Yes.
Chris Dexter?
Can you read the policy again?
I just have a motion to rescind New Jersey mandated policy 5756. I gotta
You
put the
mean
policy
mandate
number.
what, the quote from the?
Yeah, just read one more time.
The policy
Yeah.
states, it's a part of it, cause it is
Yeah,
page
whatever
one.
you read to the end.
The policy states, and this is a quote, "A school district shall accept a student's asserted gender identity, parental consent is not required." That's a semicolon, parental consent is not required. Further, a student need not meet any threshold diagnosis or treatment requirements to have his or her gender identity recognized and respected by the district, school, or school personnel. Nor is a court-ordered name change required. There is no affirmative duty for any school district personnel to notify a student's parents or guardian of the student's gender identity or expression.
Is listed as a recommendation or a mandate?
It's guidance. But so how this came about is this company that wrote policies for the state, they put an M next to it, which means mandatory. But it has since been determined that since it's guidance, it cannot be mandatory, but that the state has it in fact listed as mandatory.
To vote right now, we're taking your word for that rather than doing our own research on that. I'm not saying you're lying, okay, but I'm not gonna, can't sit here and read that entire thing. I need time to read things.
Abstain.
Leif Anderson
Yes.
and Ray Castellani.
Yes.
5 yeses. Vote and 1 abstain. And
So
2
just to
absent.
clarify, we just passed a policy, or passed something about a policy that the only person, I mean, have you all read this policy?
Yes.
So in the future, if you're going to bring something up like this at a meeting, I'd recommend that you call the number that we have on our list and let us all know that you're bringing it to the meeting.
You could take your own advice.
So the move we just made means there's no secrets now, right?
Right.
There cannot be secrets.
Right. Just no secrets. How is that protecting all of our children?
Because there's no secrets.
From you, as a parent, but not the child. That's not protecting the child. We're here to protect the child, not the parents.
I consider a dangerous person who keeps a secret from a parent is the dangerous person. If a teacher here kept the secret from me, then I would consider that teacher a dangerous person. To my child. Are we open for public comment?
Motion
Yeah.
to open public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public comment? Is anybody on the list? Thank you, Chris.
You wanna stand up again? Okay.
Chris Funny again. It's a question, I know you guys don't answer questions, but your consent agenda on 30 is your bills list. All the boards I've ever sat on, like, your bills list should be separated from your consent agenda. So if you have any questions, or you have to abstain, you're a contractor, subcontractor, that should be broken out. I don't know why it's not, but again, every board that I've ever sat on, including the mayor, it's always broken out. So if you're like John Tigers as a contractor or Jamie Armando, if they work, they're gonna have to abstain from the whole consent agenda if they did some kind of contract.
Well, I will say, Chris, we do abstain from pieces. Now, I understand what you're saying, because how would, unless you know or John knows he's in that
Right.
list bill, but you can abstain from number 8. You can approve the consent.
It would be easier to break it out, but it's up to you.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm just pointing out, you guys do
That's
everything
okay.
you do, it just would be easier to break out.
No,
You can
I-
look over bills list and be a separate thing, that's all. It's a lot of money to spend when you're going over consent agenda, it just, to me, it should be.
Do other board members see the bills other than me signing them? To
You
have a
have, you have
list?
the bills
Yes,
list.
list.
I mean, honestly, with,
It's in there.
Yeah,
I mean, with the
it's in our
school, we do
agenda.
not get a lot of
It's not that we
local,
don't see them. I'm not gonna vouch for everyone, but they should be gone through before you come in your packet that you get on Fridays.
Again, you
I
guys,
know,
you guys do you, I just, any board I've sat on,
I
it's broken
I
out
appreciate your
separately.
advice.
And then out of that bills list, you can say, I approve the bills list except for this piece of the bills list. That's all. Saves you guys later on if there's any conflict of interest. As for what you just passed, I appreciate that. A lot of schools around the county have done so. I think it's good. You know, Trenton's dictating whatever, how our kids are brought up in our schools, and it's BS, it's really what it is. And going forward, you know, you guys run meetings a little different than I'm used to, but, you know, if you wanna table something, you make that motion and you have backup. And if you don't have backup, you don't make the motion to table. So, gotta get your ducks in a row before you come to a meeting. That's all, thank you.
Anyone else?
Can I make a public comment as a parent?
You absolutely can.
So Kate Adam, resident of Frankford Township and voter. I would say that you're here to represent all voters and that I wouldn't let a commissioner come in and tell you what to do and to threaten you.
I didn't threaten anybody. That's what you think in your head, though. That's fine.
Motion to go out of public comment?
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The only other item of order is our next scheduled meeting is October 23rd, 2023. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
They're all gonna be out, huh?
No, they're not hunting. Yes, I don't get up to